It's crazy, but I do believe that there's a way out. Going to tell you about that. Just because you suffer more than others does not mean that you don't have a way out, that you can't be successful. That's the good news. So, I'm going to wrap up what I'm talking about with Harvard and Princeton and their article. And again, this article was a long time ago, but the framework of the article is very much still relevant. And so, why don't we just take take from it a couple of facts, and then we're gonna move on. So, you know, where did it go? Now that I'm looking for it, I can't find it. Okay, all right. Let's just talk about the parts of your brain that are affected by financial scarcity. Uh, Prefrontal cortex, the planning center and control center, the hippocampus, memory and imagining tomorrow. Your ability to provide a vision for yourself or for your family is suffering because you're dealing in a present crisis of financial scarcity. That's a lot. Amygdala, the threat detection system, is on overdrive. All of these areas of your brain are affected, undoubtedly, without a question. And from that, you're supposed to take, you know, success, you know. So, um, even though these things are definitely very relevant, um, very much affecting, you know, your way of being. I just want to say, we lived in this world long enough. And most of this stuff, when you think about it, is common sense. You feel it, you know it. You know when your mind is being taken up with too much um, stressful events. You know when it's taken away from your ability to think about other things. So a lot of the times when we get this information, even from Princeton and Harvard, it's like we understand, we know this already because we're going through it. But what we're not taking into consideration, I don't think, as logical as it all sounds, and by that I mean I'm stressed about needs being met. It's hard for me now to focus on building a life. Hard for me now to focus on building tomorrow or even the next moment sometime because we are so consumed with the present situation. Logically, we understand that. But I think the part that gets me going, the part that makes me a little bit more concerned is the reality. The reality. Like, logically speaking, we understand. The reality, realistically speaking, your brain is affected in a way that we don't think about. Did you realize that by just the mere thought, just going through financial scarcity like that actually reshapes, hear me, it reshapes your brain physically. It's changing everything. This changes everything. One of the examples is the reduction in gray matter in your brain. This is your processing center. You need that. So the information is literally running off the tracks. It does not make it to the destination. That's the way I like to look at it anyway. The information is running off the tracks. So yeah, we understand the logical part, but there's also the realistic and the reality part. And the reality that your brain is being malformed or reshaped because of financial scarcity. And your concerns about this is it's stunning to me, you know? Um I mean, we this is not something that we know. We don't think about it. We just think about it as far as what's in front of us, what we have to do, what's stressing you from doing it, like that. You would only think about this if you were playing in the area of a neurosurgeon or psychologist or, people that play around in these areas for a living. But the rest of us pedestrians, we don't see it that way. So yes, listen, family, when you are consumed with scarcity and lack, your mind is not all the way there. Your brain physically is not all the way there. Everything up here changes. Don't you think that changes your outlook, changes the way you see some things, changes how you prioritize things, changes what you make important, changes who's important in your life? Tells me, it helps me to stay angry for sure, right? Stay stressed out for sure. You have to educate yourself to these things and want to do something about it. The good thing is you can do something about it as long as you are educated to it. Now, I can only point you to it. You know, Poverty changes your brain beyond stress, the hidden damage. This article is May 20th, 2026. And so this is not the same Princeton study. And you know what? I apologize. I do not have the author in this article because I copy and pasted it and I forgot to grab the rest of the information. Excuse me. But needless to say, there are studies out there. I wanted to give you something to research and look up for yourself, but I got the wrong article. So, in any case, I just want to remind you, hey, do something about something. This is not something where you need to sit back and feel the woe is me effect. Let's get out of that. Let's get educated, understand what it is, release yourself of feeling like you're less than anybody else, especially if you're in those impoverished states. You do not have the nourishment. You do not have the what is needed for you to go on. Um, and so, with that being the case, we need to get there. All right, we need to get there. So, with that said, I'm going to follow up a little bit more. Probably won't go into the stats and stuff so much. Talk a little bit more casually about, you know, how things are affecting you, affecting me when we encounter maybe some sort of lack, worry, concern, some sort of struggle, and we have to find a way to reduce the concern with that and make oops and make our concern leveling out so that we're able to see forward and thrive. All right, so that's what I have for y'all today. I don't have the article that I wanted in front of me, and so not as prepared as I should be. Next time. With that said, I hope you all are having a blessed day. Love you all. Chris Nicole, I'm out.